The modern mythology of extraterrestrial contact began not in the sky, but on a dusty patch of scrubland in southeastern New Mexico. In the summer of 1947, the United States was gripped by flying saucer fever. Just weeks after pilot Kenneth Arnold reported seeing 9 crescent-shaped objects flying past Mount Rainier at supersonic speeds, a rancher named William Mac Brazel stumbled upon a debris field that would change history. On his remote ranch, about 75 miles northwest of Roswell, Brazel found a wide swath of strange metallic wreckage scattered across the desert floor. The material was unlike anything he had ever seen. Foil-like scraps that couldn't be torn or burned, lightweight beams with strange violet hieroglyphics, and a rubber-like substance that snapped back to its original shape when crumpled. Brazel dragged some of the debris to the local sheriff, George Wilcox, who in turn contacted the nearby Roswell Army Airfield, home to the 509th Bomb Group, the elite unit that had dropped the atomic bombs on Japan just 2 years earlier. The base commander dispatched Major Jesse Marcel, the head of intelligence, to investigate. Marcel and 2 counterintelligence corps agents drove to the ranch, gathered the wreckage, and brought it back to the base. What happened next is the cornerstone of the Roswell legend. On July 8, 1947, the RAAF Public Information Officer, Walter Haut, issued a press release with a bombshell headline that went out on the wires. RAAF captures flying saucer on ranch in Roswell region. The news exploded globally. For a few hours, the world believed that the United States military had physical proof of alien life. The Roswell Daily Record ran the headline, and radio stations interrupted broadcasts to announce the discovery. However, the euphoria was short-lived. Within 24 hours, the narrative shifted dramatically. Brigadier General Roger Ramey, commanding officer of the 8th Air Force in Fort Worth, Texas, where Marcel had flown the debris for inspection, held a hastily arranged press conference. He displayed what he claimed were the real remains: tattered pieces of a standard neoprene weather balloon and aluminum foil radar targets. The flying saucer, he declared, was nothing more than a misidentified raw-wind target balloon. Major Marcel, visibly uncomfortable in photos from that press conference, was ordered to remain silent. The story died as quickly as it had been born, dismissed as a case of rural hysteria and military incompetence. For nearly 30 years, Roswell was forgotten, a mere footnote in UFO lore. It wasn't until the late 1970s, when researchers tracked down Jesse Marcel, now retired, that the silence was broken. Marcel dropped a bombshell of his own. The weather balloon explanation was a lie. The material he had found in the desert was not from this earth, and the debris shown to the press in Fort Worth had been switched. This revelation reignited the mystery, birthing the modern conspiracy theory that the US government had recovered not just a ship, but possibly its crew. If you want to uncover the dark rumors of alien autopsies and the secret government project that was likely the true cause of the crash, stay tuned and follow the channel for the next segment. The legend of Roswell might have died in the desert if not for the revival of interest in the late 1970s. When Stanton Friedman interviewed Jesse Marcel in 1978, the retired intelligence officer insisted that the material he handled was not of this earth. He described I-beams that were weightless yet unbreakable, and foil that, when crumpled, would uncrumple itself instantly, properties that no known material in 1947 possessed. This testimony opened the floodgates. Soon, other witnesses emerged with even more shocking claims. Glenn Dennis, a local mortician, alleged that a terrified nurse had told him about performing autopsies on small, gray-skinned bodies with large heads at the Roswell Base Hospital before she mysteriously vanished. Another witness, Frank Kaufman, claimed to have seen the actual craft intact with its crew dead inside. These stories coalesced into the Roswell incident we know today, a narrative of a crashed extraterrestrial ship and a massive government conspiracy to hide the bodies. However, in 1994, under pressure from New Mexico Congressman Stephen Schiff, the U.S. Air Force launched an internal investigation to find the truth. The result was a massive report titled The Roswell Report: Fact versus Fiction in the New Mexico Desert. The Air Force admitted there was a cover-up in 1947, but it wasn't about aliens. The debris found by Mac Brazel was actually from a top-secret Cold War program called Project Mogul. Project Mogul was a classified attempt to detect Soviet nuclear tests using high-altitude balloons equipped with sensitive microphones. These balloon trains were enormous, stretching hundreds of feet, and carried radar targets made of aluminum foil and balsa wood, materials that perfectly matched the ordinary debris shown to the press. Crucially, the radar targets were manufactured by a toy company in New York that used tape reinforced with purple flower patterns, explaining the alien hieroglyphics Marcel had described. The program was so secret, labeled Priority 1A, that even the personnel at the Roswell base didn't know it existed. When the balloon crashed, the flying saucer cover story was actually convenient for the military because it distracted attention from their real spy capabilities. As for the alien bodies, the Air Force released a second report in 1997, Case Closed, addressing the gruesome rumors. It concluded that witnesses had conflated memories from different decades. The alien bodies were likely anthropomorphic crash test dummies used in high-altitude parachute experiments during the 1950s. These dummies had gray skin, were about the size of a small human, and were often retrieved by military convoys in the desert, creating a visual that lingered in local memory. The autopsies and the missing nurse were debunked as fabrications. Glenn Dennis's story fell apart when researchers found no record of the nurse he named ever existing. Despite these detailed explanations, the conspiracy theory thrives. For believers, Project Mogul is just another layer of the lie, a sophisticated disinformation campaign designed to bury the greatest discovery in human history. If you want to see how Roswell transforms from a military secret into the pop culture capital of the world and a thriving tourist industry, stay tuned and follow the channel for the final segment. By the 1990s, Roswell, New Mexico, a quiet ranching and oil town with a population of around 50,000, faced a harsh economic reality. Military cutbacks, agricultural decline, and the collapse of local industries had left the town struggling for identity and revenue. But the city leaders saw an opportunity sitting in plain sight. The 50th anniversary of the Roswell incident was approaching in 1997, and popular culture was experiencing a UFO renaissance. Shows like The X-Files and films like Independence Day had primed a global audience hungry for alien mysteries. The town made a brilliant, audacious decision: lean into the legend and transform Roswell into the UFO capital of the world. The strategy worked spectacularly. Today, Roswell's tourism industry is entirely built on ufology and alien kitsch. The city features UFO-shaped streetlights, a McDonald's designed like a flying saucer, and grocery stores decorated with alien murals. The International UFO Museum and Research Center, housed in an old movie theater, attracts nearly 200,000 visitors annually. Inside, tourists can explore a museum filled with witness testimony, conspiracy timelines, and recreations of the infamous alien autopsy footage. A world map peppered with thumbtacks marks the hometowns of visitors from as far away as Nova Scotia and Chad. Every July, the UFO Festival draws between 10,000 and 15,000 visitors, generating over $500,000 in economic impact over just 3 days. Attendees dress in alien costumes, attend lectures on government cover-ups, watch a planetarium light show, and tour the alien life form autopsy room. Entrepreneurs have capitalized on the phenomenon. Companies like Roebuck Entertainment offer immersive experiences like Spaceport Roswell, a virtual reality journey to the 1947 crash site, and Bricktown Alien Attack, featuring the world's largest Lego UFO. Dennis Balthasar, a 77-year-old retired engineer, runs Roswell UFO tours 5 days a week, taking believers to 20 locations tied to the incident. He's been researching the case for 40 years and represents a fascinating breed: intelligent people who genuinely believe the cover-up narrative, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Yet the town is not entirely defined by its extraterrestrial obsession. Locals often tolerate rather than embrace the alien tourism. The Anderson Museum of Contemporary Art, a world-class free gallery with over 450 works, sits just blocks from the UFO Museum, yet receives only one visitor for every 100 that flock to see alien displays. Roswell also has a symphony, a vibrant arts community, and a sophisticated cultural life that surprises outsiders who expect only tacky souvenirs. As former FBI agent and Mayor Dennis Kintai puts it, there's a level of sophistication here that will candidly surprise people. The Roswell incident is a case study in how myth-making, conspiracy, and commerce can intersect to create something entirely new. Whether you believe the official explanation of Project Mogul or are convinced the government hides alien bodies in a hangar, Roswell's transformation is undeniable. It turned a Cold War accident into a global brand, proving that sometimes the story is worth more than the truth. The Roswell incident reminds us that the line between fact and fiction can blur when secrecy meets imagination. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, the story continues to fascinate. If this deep dive into one of history's greatest mysteries intrigued you, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Share this video with fellow truth seekers and keep the conversation alive. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next documentary.
Interesting facts. 1. The weather balloon explanation changed decades later. When the Roswell incident first made headlines, the US military quickly retracted its initial statement about recovering a flying disc and replaced it with the explanation that it was simply a weather balloon. For decades, this was the official story until the 1990s, when the Air Force admitted that the debris actually came from Project Mogul, a top-secret Cold War program using high-altitude balloons to detect Soviet nuclear tests. The late admission fueled even more conspiracy theories, as many questioned why such a major correction took nearly 50 years to acknowledge. 2. Witnesses reported strange materials with unusual properties. Many locals who claimed to have seen or handled the debris described materials that didn't behave like anything known at the time. Some spoke of metallic foil that could be crushed but would instantly return to its original shape, and beams that were extremely lightweight yet impossible to break. Other accounts mention symbols or markings on the wreckage that resembled hieroglyphics. While skeptics say these stories grew over time, believers argue that such descriptions sound far more like advanced technology than balloon parts. 3. The Roswell incident helped create modern UFO culture. Before 1947, UFO sightings existed, but the Roswell crash transformed the topic into a global cultural phenomenon. It inspired countless books, TV programs, movies, and conspiracy theories, becoming a central pillar of modern ufology. The incident helped popularize the idea of government cover-ups, secret alien recoveries, and hidden military bases like Area 51. Roswell's influence became so strong that the town now hosts an annual UFO festival, and its entire identity, tourism, branding, and pop culture presence revolves around the mystery of what really happened that summer. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Share this video with fellow truth seekers and keep the conversation alive. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next documentary.